Hey guys, my name is Mangs, and today I am making a very special video regarding the fourth Mangs Emblem hack that I just played, and this video is going to be featuring some criticism of the hack. This is mostly for the developers to give them a little bit of help and some feedback, because that is always needed whenever you are developing a hack. So I got 6 points lined down. It's going to be mostly unscripted. I'm just going to be speaking from the heart, and in the background there will be a skirmish battle featuring the fourth Mangs Emblem hack if you want something to look at, but this will mostly be an audio video. So first of all, I would really like to say that this hack is sort of a gem. I did not expect it to be this good. When I started playing it, I was mostly expecting some shitty memes and some horrible writing and just a silly hack altogether. But it was actually a really cool experience. I was very pleasantly surprised to find how extremely entertaining it was, and judging by the obscene amount of views that it has gotten, as well as the absurd amount of likes and comments that each episode has gotten as well, it's pretty clear that my fans are in love with this hack as well. And I know that a lot of them are looking forward to being able to play them. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be going through the 6 points that I've listed. I'm going to try to not waste your time with too much unneeded criticism. I know that you all are already aware of some points, but I am going to be going through these points one by one. So, before I jump into the first point, I would just like to say that I am not going to be having much criticism of the map design and gameplay. This hack is pretty much just Fire Emblem 8 with bells and whistles and some memes packed in, so we're not going to be jumping too much into that. But my first point is perhaps my most important point, and that is keep it simple. So what makes this hack so incredibly charming is the fact that it doesn't try to be anything that it's not. It's basically just Sacred Stones, but with an alternate story. And while I don't mind you guys making changes to it, such as daggers, reaver tomes, and other special features that was not part of Sacred Stones, I really want you to try and not go overboard with the changes. You've already said that you plan on implementing custom maps and a lot of different features. My advice is to simply just not do that, and the reasoning behind this is that if you bite over more than you can chew, you'll never finish the hack. This is why 99% of all hacks that are made end up in limbo and end up unfinished. So my advice to the development team is don't add skills, don't add custom maps, don't add custom musics, don't add custom animations. The amount of fluff and ingenuity that is already present in the hack is more than enough for me to find it entertaining and refreshing. You don't need to add a whole bunch of stuff on a cake that is already pretty good. So keep it simple, keep it clean, and focus on finishing the hack. Don't start to add a million features, because if you do, the amount of work that you have to put into it will quickly spiral out of control. You will lose interest and you will lose your motivation, and the hack will simply end up unfinished. Number 2, don't get too serious. This hack starts off very meme-tastic. It's not taking itself serious at all, the interactions are mostly joking, but then something strange starts to happen towards Chapter 4, Chapter 5, and Chapter 5X. The hack is starting to develop an actual story, and while I don't mind this so much, I think you gotta be very careful to not get too serious. I particularly thought that during Mina's Chapter 5X, that the hack was actually not getting all that fun anymore, and it was taking itself a little bit too seriously, and that kind of dispels the magic a little bit, because this hack is supposed to be jokey. I don't think you should be completely unserious, and I don't mind there being an overarching story, but just remember, whenever you write, don't get too serious. Don't make things too logical. Make sure that there's always some jokes packed in there. Don't be afraid to break the fourth wall. Have more banter between Manx and Mecha, because that's hilarious. And yeah, just don't take the hack too seriously. Make sure that it stays in joke territory, because that's what made it enjoyable to begin with. 3. Move forwards, not backwards. Right now, the Let's Play is at Chapter 9A, and once you guys release the next update, I will probably continue the Let's Play at 10A, and chances are I will not be going back and checking out the earlier chapters, regardless of what updates you may make to them. For this reason alone, I really recommend that you spend as little time as possible polishing the first 9 chapters. I understand that making them right is important for a hack, because they are the first introduction to the story, but I think that the first 9 chapters are good as they are. You don't really need to go back and change a whole lot about them. So my advice to you guys is, please do not get stuck in this endless polish phase that so many hacks get stuck in, where you just go back and you polish and you polish and you polish and you stop making progress. My advice is just drop everything related to the first 9 chapters. They are completely fine. Look forward, work forward, and make sure your goal is to reach the final chapter, not to polish the first 9 ones. 4. Consider not having a route split. Okay, I understand that you will probably not follow this advice, but I'm still going to give it to you. So, I understand that a Manx and a Mina route is a pretty cool idea. It's pretty integral to the design of the game as a whole, and not having a route split is sort of boring, considering there's less chapters. But the reason why I'm making this advice to you guys is that a route split is a lot of work. It takes a lot of resources, and to be fair, most people only play through a hack once. Very rarely do they go back and replay hacks. So having a route split is a lot of wasted resources for not a lot of gain. At the very least, my advice to you is that you finish the Manx route, and then you finish the hack, and then you can go back and you can add the Mina route as bonus contents, and that will make people come back to your hack and play it again. I understand this is not fun, I understand it's not very exciting, but it is a piece of advice that I'm going to give to you anyway, because it means that the hack will be finished sooner and there will be less work for you. Alright, so number 5 is going to be regarding the character Mangs. So, the character Mangs, since he is sort of based on me, or at least my online persona, as well as being the main character in this hack, I feel like I have some small nitpicks regarding the character itself. He starts off very joking. He's not very serious at all. He swears a lot. He seemingly doesn't really care a lot about the people around him. And then sort of he changes his character and starts acting a lot more honorably, which is a bit weird. I don't mind him having an honorable side to him, and I think it's kind of charming that he only really shows it when he's alone with Mina, which is a very cute trait. But I wish he would not get so serious all the time, especially regarding Lucina. Like, his interactions with Lucina doesn't make a lot of sense. He starts off hating her, which is funny. I don't really think I hate Lucina, but I definitely don't understand the hype around her. But he starts off, like, not wanting Lucina in his party, and then towards the end, he feels a strange compulsion to bone her, which is really weird. Like, sure, Lucina is not ugly, and I wouldn't mind boning her at all, but she's pretty far away from what I consider attractive in a woman. And it would be a lot more hilarious if he just constantly wanted to throw Lucina out. Like, for example, when Cold Steel the Hedgehog shows up and he wants Lucina, it would be a lot more fun if Manx just went, yeah, sure, you can have her, I don't want her. It's like things like that. I want to see more stuff like that. I want to see more banter between Manx and Mecha in particular, and just keep Manx a bit more jokey. Like, you can, because then it becomes more special when you actually see his serious side. And I feel like towards Chapter 5X, Chapter 6, Manx get a little bit too serious all the time, so that kind of takes away the prestige of whenever you actually get to see that side of him, if you know what I mean. So that's my advice to the writing team. Make sure Manx doesn't get too serious, because that's not something that I do a lot. Alright, so to finish off, this last segment is simply just called Balance Nitpicks. So I'm just going to be listing a few bullet points and talk about them one by one in short succession. So first of all, the Pooji is too OP. I think that the Pooji needs a nerf. Mainly, its effective damage versus Cavalry and Armor Knights makes it too strong. Mecha crits a lot. Being a halberdier with a lot of skill means that Mecha pretty much has the crit rates of a Swordmaster. This makes him a bit tricky to use, considering you have to be a bit lucky, because if he crits, he usually kills an enemy, and it's nice to use your Jagan to soften enemies up in the early game. And in this hack, I think that experience distribution actually is sort of important, considering it's very difficult. So it wouldn't maybe be nice if Mecha came with a personal weapon that didn't crit, kind of similar to what they did with the Swordmaster in Road to Ruin. Too many early game axe users. I know you're already aware of this, but I'm going to list it anyway. There's way too many early game axe users. You might want to spread them out a little bit. I think you get Mangs, Othon, Dorcas, and Bartra in the early game. And it kind of makes it difficult to decide which one to use. So you might want to change it up a little bit. Lucina is too strong. I think Lucina is absolutely broken. You really want to scale down her bases a little bit, especially considering her growths are really good and she can promote. And I like the fact that she's sort of listed as a pre-promote, so if you enter the arena with her, you're actually fighting tier 2 classes, but I still think that Lucina is really, really broken. I don't mind her having 6 move, that's fine. She's sword locked, so she kind of needs the stats to be viable, but I still think that her stats are just way too high. More distinction between Ogim and Nino. I think that one thing you can potentially do is make Ogim a lance cav and Nino a sword cav. But if you don't want to go that route, then at least switch up their growth rates a little bit, because I feel like there's very little distinction between them at the moment. Sluis is inferior to Anthony. I use Sluis in my Let's Play simply because she's my waifu, but there's no really denying the fact that Anthony is the superior mage. He has a personal tome that is ridiculously strong, his stats are better, and he can actually double, unlike Sluis. You can fix this by giving Sluis staves, like she had in the PME, or at the very least allow her to promote to Bishop. Right now she promotes to Sage and Mage Knight. Bosswind levels up too fast. I'm not sure if this is a glitch or not. I don't think 313 Archer gets the bonus experience. I don't mind the fact that Bosswind levels up too fast, but I think you need to scale it down a little bit, because as you can see in my Let's Play, he became completely broken. 313 Merc and Archer are good units, but they are a little boring. I don't mind them being there, but as characters, there aren't a lot of fun stuff you can do with them. You might want to consider replacing them with Geats and Asama, which are both like Mina's husbandos, which would be kind of funny. And lastly, I know you gotten a lot of criticism for this already, but I'm still going to mention it, because if I don't, the comment section will scream about it. Carrion feels misplaced. I read your developer Q&A, and I saw that you've already responded to this with the fact that you just wanted him in there. I don't mind. If you really want Carrion in there, then again, it's your hack, you do it the way you want, but it just does feel like there could be other units placed in there. In particular, we have a very strong lack of early game flyers. During my Fire Emblem Heroes livestream, you asked Luis, aka the streamer Luis, not my waifu, if she wanted a cameo in the hack, and she said she wanted to be a Pegasus Knight, so why not simply swap out Carrion with Luis as a Pegasus Knight, and base her on the actual Luis from the Twitch stream? I think that would be pretty cool. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have to say about this hack. If you join my Discord server, they are going to be releasing the hack very soon, if it's not already out, so definitely go check it out. I'm very much looking forward to the next update. As soon as they release more chapters, I am going to be continuing the Let's Play where we dropped off. I'm very excited to see this hack being finished. I hope you guys take my advice to heart, but at the same time, don't take it as gospel. Everything I say isn't necessarily true. Definitely stick to your own design choices if you feel that I am wrong. But I'm just making this video to help you out a little bit, because I know that feedback is always nice when you work on a project. So yeah, my name's been Mangs. Give this video a like and a comment, and do let me know if you agree or disagree with my criticisms, or if you have any criticisms that you want the development team to see. I am sure they're going to read most of the comments here, so this is a good chance for you to get your thoughts and feedback out there if you want them to see it. So yeah, my name's been Mangs, and I shall see you guys next time. Goodbye.